June 16th, 2014. Alex Vella is in Malta, a holiday. He has made this trip before. He has lived in Australia since 1967, 47 years. His wife is there, his sons are there, his elderly mother is there, 24 close family members, all Australian citizens. He is not. And on that afternoon, Immigration Minister Scott Morrison signs a piece of paper. Vella's residency visa is cancelled, on character grounds. While he is standing in Malta, he tries to fly home. He cannot board the plane. He challenges the decision in the federal court. He loses. He challenges it in the High Court. He loses again. The door closes permanently. The man who built Australia's largest outlaw motorcycle club, spending more than 40 years growing it to over 70 chapters and 1,000 members across 20 countries, is stranded in the country he was born in. Here is what nobody tells you about that decision. The Australian government did not cancel his visa because he was convicted of a serious crime. His most serious conviction on record was 18 months of part-time detention for marijuana possession in 1990. They cancelled his visa because after 2 years of classified intelligence gathering, they concluded that a criminal conviction was never going to happen. And they found a different door. If this is the kind of investigation you come here for, a subscribe means we can keep doing it. Now, let's start at the beginning. Born in Malta on the 5th of June 1953. 7th of 11 children. Strict Catholic family. Farmers. In 1967, the family migrates to Sydney. They establish a strawberry farm near Horsley Park, Western Sydney. Alex Vella is 13 years old. He boxes professionally. He reaches number 5 in Australia's light heavyweight division. He wins the Maltese light heavyweight championship in 1978. After a serious road accident, he receives $225,000 in compensation. He uses it to set up a motorcycle import business. He starts building a property portfolio, 7 rental units, a bottle shop, a supermarket. He works as a bouncer, bricklayer, and labourer. In 1972, aged 19, he joins the Rebels Motorcycle Club. He founds the Sydney chapter. By around 1973, he is national president. He will hold that position for more than 40 years. In that time, the Rebels expand from a Queensland club into Australia's largest outlaw motorcycle organisation. More than 70 chapters, more than 2,000 members and associates. International chapters across 20 countries, including New Zealand, England, Germany, Thailand, the Philippines, and Malta. The Australian government considers the Rebels one of Australia's highest risk criminal threats. Alex Vella considers himself a motorcycle enthusiast and businessman who has been unfairly targeted. Both things sit in the public record simultaneously. In 2012, 2 years before Morrison signs the visa cancellation, the Australian government establishes Taskforce Attero. Not an ordinary police operation, a national task force led by the Australian Crime Commission, combining 14 law enforcement and federal agencies with a single stated purpose: not to arrest criminals, not to seize drugs, to disrupt, disable, and dismantle the Rebels Motorcycle Club entirely. Within 2 years, Eligo National Task Force, operating as part of the same investigative framework, seizes more than $665 million worth of drugs and assets, $38.5 million in cash alone. One operation in July 2014, the same month Vella's visa is cancelled, uncovers 8 kilograms of amphetamine being transported from the United Kingdom into Australia. Street value $20 million. 4 of the 6 people arrested are Rebels members. In November 2012, Attero goes public with its findings. More than 330 people connected to the Rebels arrested, 500 charges, 300 premises searched, 40 firearms seized. Vella calls an emergency press conference. He says his lawyers tell him only 77 people were arrested and most charges were minor traffic violations. He acknowledges individual members had been known to break the law. But what Attero's classified intelligence, the documents Vella was never permitted to read, actually alleged about the organization under his leadership went considerably further than traffic violations. Drug dealing, money laundering, serious assaults, kidnapping, extortion, firearms offenses, threatening law enforcement officers, and, the one that mattered most to prosecutors, intimidation of court witnesses. That last allegation is the key to understanding everything that followed. Because if witnesses change their testimony before reaching the stand, through fear rather than conviction, the entire criminal justice process collapses from within. And that, according to Attero's intelligence, was exactly what was happening. Here is the public record of every serious attempt to hold Alex Vella criminally accountable across 4 decades. 1990. Police raid his home and find $15,000 worth of marijuana. They believe it to be a methamphetamine factory. He receives 18 months of part-time detention and community service, his most serious conviction. 1995. Around 60, police raid his property under suspicion his assets are proceeds of crime. They seize 44 Harley-Davidsons, 2 Rolls-Royces, 4 Corvettes, a Bentley, and a Mercedes. The case goes to court. He pays $650,000 to the Crime Commission. The assets are returned. He is arrested for stabbing 2 men, not convicted. He is arrested for assaulting a woman, sentenced to 6 months, released on appeal. 2 decades of investigation, dozens of operations around him, hundreds of his members charged and convicted, and the most serious outcome against Vella personally, 18 months of part-time detention for marijuana in 1990. That is not luck, that is architecture. A man who understood, better than almost anyone in Australia's criminal landscape, that the most durable protection is not violence, it is distance. Layers of structure between the man at the top and the specific act at the bottom. A system where everyone below him understood that talking to police had consequences, and where the consequences were visible enough that witnesses consistently changed their minds before reaching the stand. After 2 years, Attero concluded what experienced investigators had suspected for years. A criminal conviction against Alex Vella was not going to happen through conventional means. So, they found a different mechanism entirely. Section 501 of Australia's Migration Act. The character test. A minister can cancel a visa on character grounds without a criminal conviction, without a trial, without the person being present in Australia. The minister only needs to be satisfied, on the balance of probabilities, that the person does not pass the character test. The intelligence relied upon can be classified. The subject cannot see it, cannot challenge it directly, cannot know precisely what triggered the decision. On June 16, 2014, Scott Morrison makes that call. Vella is in Malta. The decision is made in Canberra, based on intelligence Vella cannot read, about an organisation he has led for 40 years, processed through a legal mechanism that requires no jury, no judge, no criminal standard of proof. Vella tells Fairfax Media from Europe, "I am an innocent man. I've just finished settling a tax case after 9 months for $1.2 million. I've travelled overseas to visit family and friends, and whilst I've left the country with a valid visa, they have shut and locked the door behind me." He is right that he left with a valid visa. He is right that the door was shut and locked behind him. Whether he is right about being innocent, the courts were never required to answer. He spent 40 years building a system sophisticated enough to defeat the criminal justice process. The government simply walked around it, not through a courtroom, through an immigration form. 24 close family members in Australia, all Australian citizens. His wife Heather, his sons Adam and Alex Jr., his elderly mother. A family he had lived alongside for 47 years, now separated by a visa cancellation he cannot appeal. His brother Gino, a Rebels MC member, dies in Australia. Hundreds of rebels gather in Sydney for what is described as one of the biggest outlaw motorcycle gang funerals seen in Australia for years. Alex Vella cannot attend. He cannot board the plane. He watches from Malta. When Alex Jr. and nephew Damien try to fly to Malta to see him, the airline initially refuses to board them, claiming government orders. The government denies issuing any such order. A 24-hour legal scramble eventually confirms they can travel. They fly to Malta. They fly back. Alex Vella stays. He builds a fortified compound in Malta. He leads the rebels' Malta chapter. He sells merchandise. He maintains contact internationally. But every family milestone, every funeral, every birth, every ordinary Tuesday happens in a country he cannot enter. Because 47 years ago, when he arrived as a 13-year-old boy with his family on a farm in Horsley Park, nobody told him that not applying for citizenship would one day be the mechanism used to remove him permanently. With Alex Vella permanently stranded, Damien Vella, his nephew, takes over as national president, known as Big D. In 2019, NSW police apply to the NSW Supreme Court for orders banning Damien Vella from associating with any motorcycle club member traveling between 9 p.m. and 6 a.m. without medical justification or using encrypted communication apps. In 2022, he appears at Penrith Court charged with resisting police. That same year, while planning to fly to Malta for the rebels' 50th anniversary celebration, Damien Vella and Alex Jr. are arrested on serious gun charges. Police allege they intimidated a third party into storing firearms and ammunition against their will, and stole, then attempted to sell that person's vehicle as punishment. In October 2023, the Perth chapter president dies in police custody hours after an arrest on drug and firearms charges. Then, May 2024, The Nightly reports it. A power struggle between Damien Vella in Sydney and WA state boss Carl LeBrook in Perth. The result? 36 members resign en masse, handing in their patches. One of the largest mass resignations in Australian underworld history. The organisation described in coverage as being in disarray. Patches being handed back at record rates. Members described as patching out at historic pace. The rebels, which at its peak had more than 70 chapters and over 1,000 patched members, fracturing publicly from within. That fracture did not begin in May 2024. It began on June 16, 2014, when a minister in Canberra signed a piece of paper while the man who held it all together was standing in Malta. Here is the honest accounting of what the Australian government achieved against Alex Vella across 4 decades of trying. 2 years of part-time detention for marijuana in 1990. $650,000 paid to the Crime Commission in 1995 to get his assets back. A settled tax case for $1.2 million shortly before his visa was cancelled. Everything else, the stabbings, the assault, the decades of surrounding arrests and convictions of people connected to him, producing nothing that would hold at trial. And then, one administrative decision, based on classified intelligence, using a legal mechanism that required no jury, no judge, no criminal standard of proof, that sent him to Malta permanently. The most sophisticated organised crime leader in Australia's history, undone not by a conviction, not by a police operation, not by a witness finally willing to talk, but by a paperwork gap. 47 years in Australia, never applied for citizenship. One trip to Malta, and a minister who found the door that had always been there, and simply walked through it. Whether that is justice or something else entirely, the courts were never asked to decide. They only decided that the minister had the power to do it. The question that sits underneath all of it is the same one that applies to every version of this story this channel has covered. When the criminal justice system cannot reach a person through conventional means, and the state finds an alternative mechanism to remove them, where exactly is the line between effective law enforcement and something that should make all of us uncomfortable? That question does not have a clean answer. And anyone who tells you it does has not read the full public record. What do you reckon? Alex Vella is now 71 years old. He lives in Malta, the country he left as a 13-year-old boy. He has not been to Australia since June 2014. His wife, his sons, his mother's grave, if she has passed, are all in a country he cannot enter. He leads the rebels' Malta chapter. He sells merchandise. He posts on social media. He maintains contact with the organization he spent 40 years building. The organization that is now fracturing without him. In the years since he left, the rebels have lost a Perth chapter president to police custody, lost 36 members in a single mass resignation, lost the internal coherence that his presence, for better or worse, had provided for 4 decades. And across all of that, the government's classified intelligence has never been made public. The specific reasons a minister concluded in June 2014 that Alex Vella did not pass the character test remain sealed. He was never tried, never convicted of anything serious,
never given the opportunity to answer the specific allegations in open court.
He simply could not get on the plane. And Australia's largest outlaw motorcycle club, built by a 19-year-old Maltese kid who loved motorcycles and founded a Sydney chapter in 1972, is still dealing with the consequences of that afternoon.